In the meantime, let's check in with Mike. So he's here to help us navigate the challenges of renovations during a pandemic from beginning to end. And if anyone knows about this, it is you, Mike. You're going through it now.
We're living in crazy times, and for many of us, the pandemic has zeroed in on what matters. You know, our health, our loved ones, and the quality of life, which we all know at Cityline is better with a dog, of course. As many of you might have realized, one of the things that we've prized most during this past year is the comfort of our homes, okay? We all want a great place to call home that suits the needs of humans and animals, optimally with a little space between to breathe and hide from your kids.
I love the focus on dogs in this. This is great. So this is the truth. I am looking for new hiding spots in my house. It used to be the basement bathroom. The kids have figured out how to jimmy the lock. So we need to talk about what type of supply and demand issues have contractors like yourself been facing.
Absolutely. You know, we all know the residential construction market is booming, and contractors have never been busier, okay? It has led to a serious supply-demand issue that is impacting costs and timelines on all projects, okay? Should you be venturing into a renovation or new home build in the near term, you know, sometime this year, you know, there's certain issues you should consider, you know, and the top of that list is lumber. As you've seen in the headlines, lumber material has never been higher. It's not just fencing and deck boards, it's everything made of wood and wood byproducts. I've seen prices escalate from 50 to 150% depending on the wood products that we're talking about. From a positive standpoint, tile and stone counters is something that has been fairly stable throughout this pandemic. I haven't seen major delays with stone products, and it is something that is, you know, it's easy to check that inventory with suppliers. Another aspect of this is millwork. Now, all that millwork or the cabinetry on your project, whether it's the built-ins, the vanities, the kitchens, etc., you know, in the past it has been 8 to 10 weeks to get that product from site measure to installation on the site. That is now 12 to 16 weeks. Got to remember that 12 to 16 weeks is if you can find a millwork company available to produce that side of it. And larger outfits have seen rolling shutdowns because of the pandemic, and it has created a domino effect on the delivery end.
Okay, this must take an insane amount of pre-planning on your end. I can't even imagine. So what about appliances and furniture? How are we doing there?
In all honesty, there's entire product lines that are simply not available. And assuming your appliances will arrive because the deposits were paid ages ago, doesn't matter. You have to remember that those deposits are generally to lock in pricing and promotions. It doesn't guarantee the product, okay? You have to remember that. It's a very important part. Currently, custom pieces, whether it's sofas or what have you, most vendors are taking 12 to 24 weeks, okay? 3 to 6 months from the time of ordering. I also have to mention the fact that all of this stuff sits on the floor. The millwork, the appliances, everything else. If you don't have that flooring, it will just create this chain of events of delays. And it's not about securing the product as much as it is procuring the product from the shipper. So remembering that getting the product you buy shipped and finding anything from outside of the province can be problematic.
Okay, so I feel like you're saying there should be sort of a focus on local suppliers if you don't want to deal with some of those issues. Try and get local suppliers part of the initial planning for sure, if you can find what you need with local suppliers. So let's talk about gardening and landscaping. How are we doing there?
Well, you know, that's a tough one right now, and especially as we move into the summer season, there are massive shortages in all landscaping products from natural manufactured goods. And it's a combination of not just the increased demand, but the shortfalls in the production. Projects get severely delayed if the flexibility on those stone products are not available. Listen, to summarize this, all of these supply chain issues ultimately increase the project costs. And it's difficult, really difficult to quantify this because every issue is different. But what I can say is that time is money in this industry, and everything currently is taking more time. The demand on trades, on all the subcontractors, has resulted in many subcontractors adjusting their rates as well. And the unfortunate part is I've also seen price gouging going on out there in the industry that you have to be very mindful of. But in my humble opinion, you have to kind of plan on a 25 to 35% to your pre-pandemic renovation budget. On the upside, a beautiful home that works for you and your family is one of the best investments you can make today.
Thank you, Mike. Great advice there. And when we see you again in a few weeks, you're going to be revealing the final update on that gorgeous home you've been renovating for almost a year. I'm so excited to see how it turns out.